This was one of the first video games I ever played, so I had a lot to learn. Jumping between gravity-defying planets and walking upside down took a lot of getting used to. I collected a few stars and then headed to the loop-de-loop galaxy. And let me tell you, this level broke Little Bryson. In the level, you ride around a floating water race course on a Stingray. But I wanted to get the high score. I wanted to go fast. So my thumb never let go of the acceleration button, and that meant I couldn't make sharp turns. I kept flying off the map and dying. And to make it worse, I had to use motion controls. I couldn't beat it no matter how hard I tried. I started crying and Brody had to help me beat the level. This will go down in history as mankind's second greatest defeat involving stingrays. But after that little hiccup, I was ready to take on the rest of the game and lose to Bowser 50 times. But Brody, being a seasoned veteran gamer, coached me on how to perfectly time my spin moves, and I used them to spin Bowser like a Beyblade.
So long, Bowser!
I was feeling pretty good about my newly acquired gaming skills. Beating Bowser as a child is a big deal, okay? At that age, what else do you have to be proud of? The drawings you made that Mom hung up on the fridge? Well, bad news. Mom will throw those crappy drawings away while you're not looking. But the achievement of defeating the king of the Koopas, that lasts forever. Having a powerful imagination was a good thing in many ways, but this also meant that I was scared very easily. Taking the trash out in the dark felt like a life or death experience. I was convinced that an evil clown or alien would kill me if I didn't do it as fast as I could. And of course, when I turned out the last light in the house, I had to run to my room as fast as I could so that a shadow demon wouldn't catch me. Even as an adult, I avoid horror movies. It's just not worth it to me. I'd rather be happy and sleep well. But I wasn't just susceptible to scary things in movies. I also fell victim to fear-mongering stories designed to make me more obedient from my parents.
This is Santa. If you're a good boy, he'll give you a present at Christmas.
Awesome!
And this is the boogeyman. If you're a bad boy and disobey us, he'll kill you. Slowly and painfully. He'll violently rip your arms off and use them to bash your head in.
My dad really told me that if I played too many games on the GameCube, that it would take over my mind and I'd never be able to stop playing. This scared me to my core, and it's the reason I didn't start playing a lot of video games until I was 14. But there is something to be said about how good it was for me to play outside all the time. I am grateful that I didn't fry all my dopamine receptors with an iPad at age 5. Instead, I spent my time in glorious nature eating dirt. And then there's my childhood dog, Dixie. She's really old and deaf and can't see well and can't control her bladder anymore, and she's basically skin and bones, but she still seems to be enjoying life and is always happy to see me. She also recently has decided to never eat dog food again, so she is fed hot dogs and chicken nuggets and leftover meat. She's living like a princess. She's had a lot of adventures and has been a fantastic family dog. I don't know if she'll still be alive by the time I post this video, but here's hoping. Started resorting to more drastic measures to try and beat my brothers. There's a mini game where you have to mash the A button as fast as you can, and I decided to tip the scales in my favor. I grabbed a massage gun and put it on max speed on my palm, which caused my fingers to vibrate insanely fast. Then I put my finger on the A button and... I can't count how many RC planes he's crashed. It's not even a question of if he will crash them anymore, it's when. On our most recent trip, Dad bought a big fancy plane that could take off and land in the water. He gathered us all together to watch its maiden voyage, and we all just watched sadly, anticipating the inevitable.
No! Stupid plane!
The funniest part to me is that Dad has often expressed his interest in getting his pilot's license and flying real planes. Like, dude, no one in this family is ever gonna get in a plane with you behind the wheel. You failed the simulations. What makes you think you'll succeed with the real deal? Then, of course, as Dad was trying to fix the plane, the propeller started going and Bo grabbed the plane and destroyed it. I would have thought that someone who's so good at math would stop putting RC toys and dogs in the same equation by now. Then I arrived at the Rolling Green Galaxy. That sounds like a fun, easy, kid-friendly level. Not! If the Stingray race broke me, this one shattered me. In the level, you bounce on a ball that has a star inside it and use motion controls to lead the ball through obstacles and past Goombas to reach the end and unlock the star. And I just couldn't do it. I kept falling off, which made me impatient, which made me go faster, which made me fall off more, and the cycle just continued. At 6 years old, I just did not have the coordination or fine motor skills to beat this thing. But I was determined. I didn't want to ask Brody for help again. I wanted to be a big boy gamer. I hunkered down and died over and over for an hour straight. But then finally, I got past the spot where I usually fell. I was close to the end. I shakily crossed a bridge, and the flag came into view. My hands were shaking. The adrenaline was pumping. I could almost taste my victory. I launched over to the last island. I had made it. I tilted my Wiimote all the way forward, but... No! I literally tripped at the finish line. My confidence was shattered, and I had to go collect myself in the other room. But I would not let this fiery crucible break me. I would allow it to forge me into something stronger. I stepped back in and entered Ultra Instinct mode. And I finally beat it. And that's when I felt it. The gamer's high. All my dopamine receptors fired, and I jumped for joy.
This is the greatest day of my life!
Let me tell you about the only fight Bo has ever been in. So, there we were at the dog park. Bo was having a grand old time frolicking with the other dogs. Then, in walks a Great Pyrenees. For anyone that doesn't know, a Great Pyrenees is basically the closest you can get to legally owning a polar bear. He was a big boy, and his name was Wallace. Now, Bo is usually good with other dogs, but sometimes when there's a dog that's bigger than him, he feels threatened and wants to establish dominance. Bo saw Wallace and immediately decided to F around, and believe me when I tell you, he found out. Bo ran over and jumped up to put his paws on top of Wallace. Wallace didn't like that. They started angrily barking and fighting, and the other owner and I quickly separated them. But Wallace wanted to set the record straight. He walked over to Bo and placed his paw on his shoulder as if to say,
"Do you feel in charge?"
Bo didn't like that. Bo growled and then jumped up to attack, but Wallace simply plowed into Bo and threw him flat on his back. No dog was hurt, but needless to say, Bo got humbled that day and hasn't tried anything like that since. My mom did a great job teaching me. She made learning fun with field trips and games, and the one-on-one teaching worked very well for me. I couldn't do what she did. I'm horrified by how quickly my future kids' math homework will be beyond my knowledge. Instead of experiencing the rite of passage of crying at the kitchen table as their dad tries to help them with their math assignment, they'll have the unique experience of crying with their dad about the math assignment. What is 7 times 6? I'm genuinely asking. I don't know what it is. I don't know! This guy literally body shamed me into getting braces again by comparing me to a cartoon character. But I am a cartoon character, so why am I even wearing these? I can just draw myself with perfect teeth. And to correct my Bart Simpson lip, I had to not only get another palate expander, but also rubber bands to pull my lower jaw forward.
So, how was your week, bud?
I hate you. Now it's time to introduce you to Brody and Jen's dog, Molly. I think the quickest way for you to get to know her is to see what happens when you ask her to wait or show any kind of restraint at all. Here's a video of Brody asking Molly to patiently wait before being let outside to go potty.
Back up.
As you can see, she has a hard time controlling herself. She chirps like a bird and gets so excited when she sees us because her main goal in life is to lick the inside of everyone's mouth. And I'm hesitant to let her because she has literally eaten and rolled in poop before. But I wasn't just susceptible to scary things in movies, I also fell victim to fear-mongering stories designed to make me more obedient from my parents.
This is Santa. If you're a good boy, he'll give you a present at Christmas.
Awesome!
And this is the boogeyman. If you're a bad boy and disobey us, he'll kill you. Slowly and painfully. He'll violently rip your arms off and use them to bash your head in.
I finally had all my adult teeth, and my dental troubles were over. Or so I thought. A year later, my family moved. I thought I was in the clear until Mom took me to another orthodontist.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the first set of braces really did anything. I mean, only an idiot would put braces on baby teeth. Yeah, I would recommend getting new braces now that the adult teeth are in.
The next morning, Mom took me to the pet store and got me another one. I named him Oreo, and he lived a long, happy, natural hamster life of 2 years. They don't live that long. Also, one time I was at a friend's house, and he had 2 little twin brothers. They were given 2 pet guinea pigs the day before, but they had already died because the boys were convinced that guinea pigs could fly, so they took them on the trampoline and tested their theory. Rest in peace. Anyway, at that time, I also had a pet guinea pig named Link, and the boys with tears in their eyes asked, "Our guinea pigs died. Can we have your guinea pig?" And that was when I learned the valuable lesson of how to say no to people.
In conclusion, I'm grateful to my dad for encouraging me to follow my passion and helping me build my career. And then letting me use said career to make fun of him in front of millions of people online.
Yeah, about that. Me and the board of directors have discussed this blatant defamation, and we've unanimously voted to kick you out of the channel.
But you can't do this to me. I started this company. You know how much I sacrificed?
Hi, I'm Bryson, and today I've created the most entertaining and epic video you could ever imagine. So let's just get into it. Yeah, I'll just figure it out as I go.
Hi, I'm Bryson, and today I want to tell you about all the things I was obsessed with when I was a kid. Let's start with the first one. I was obsessed with trains as a kid, especially Thomas the Tank Engine. Wow, Bryson, trains are stupid. Why don't you play with action figures or something? I used to watch the show, my parents got me the little wooden toys of the trains, and my dad even made me a train table to play with them on. Thomas, look out! There's a child on the tracks! Oh no, his brakes are broken! He can't stop! They are now dead. Thomas is tormented by his actions and turns himself in to the train authorities. Thomas is charged with 1 count of accidental manslaughter and will face 10 years in train prison. Honey, I think Bryson overheard you watching Forensic Files again.
Speaking of math, I definitely experienced the rite of passage of crying at the kitchen table while your dad tries to help you with your math assignment. I was never a good student, but since we moved around a lot, I had to deal with every school system we were in saying, "We do math a little differently around here." So that definitely didn't help with our father-son math time.
That's not the way you're supposed to do it, Dad. They want us to do it this
I don't
way.
know that way. Why would they change math? Math is math.
Okay,
Math
Dad.
is math.